dressed as a washerwoman.
This is his brother's wife?
This is his brother's wife.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, she went to the embassy, visited the embassy undercover. She had to, because Horst had come home one night with his German buddies. He was drunk. He raped her in front of his German buddies. Went back and took the German buddies back to Sarah's room. They raped, all of them raped Sarah, and they shot her dead. This was the story that came back. Well, that night, our boy made his decision. I will go. I will volunteer. Although they didn't want to, I'm going to volunteer.
Okay, so let us jump some.
Yes.
So again, I ask, how did he make this switch with his brother? I assume that they were identical twins and that were about the same weight and had grown and matured in similar physical ways.
It was a perfect match.
Perfect match.
It was a perfect match.
How did the switch occur?
You should buy the book to find out.
Codename Archangel, the demise of the devil.
That's right.
Let's continue.
After his training, they were in touch with the French underground. Once he flew into Germany with Major Best. Major Best was assigned to be with him all the way. He flew into Germany, parachuted in to Vichy, France, which was the southern part of France that the Vichys were managing. And the reason they went there is because the Vichys were not very attentive at night. So it was very quiet. It was snowing outside. And they finally met the underground. The plan was the underground would kill him.
Would kill the brother? Would kill the brother.
Underground would kill the driver and kill Horst. And at that point in time, our guy would go into the car that Horst was driving in. They dumped it into the woods, put him in the back seat, hit him on the back of the head, and gave him a drug. Then they let the Vichy know that somebody attacked this German colonel. So the Vichy came with an ambulance, et cetera, and they found Carlton, now Horst, in the back seat of the car, knocked out completely. They thought he was dead at first because there were bullets in the car and 3 bullets in the driver. But he stirred. They said, he's alive. Hence comes the ambulance. They put him in the ambulance. He has some papers that kind of flew around outside the car. And they read the papers and said, this is a German colonel. Well, he wakes up in the ambulance. And the first question he is, where am I? Who am I? What's my name?
Now, was that real? Was that memory distortion something he pretended, or was it real?
No, it was real.
It was real. He didn't
because
know.
of the drug that they gave him.
Okay.
They gave him scopolamine, which is a drug you lose your memory. Eventually comes back over time. That's what they gave him. Of course, he didn't want anything. He thought he could act it out. But they figured they better give it to him. So the Frenchman, the underground, gave it to him.
So he was eventually reinstated into his brother's life, including his military life. Now, we're kind of getting close to the end of time for today, but take us a little bit, jump a little bit into the future and tell us what the mission really was. What was the intent of this complex, incredible substitution of a spy for his twin brother?
Well, he literally took over his brother's life, his married life, and his life as a staff member for Alfred Jodl. And Jodl ran the portion of the German army that coordinated the efforts of all the different services, the submarine service, the army, the Air Force, etc. So he was aware of what was going on with Germany and what they were doing and where they were going. And his mission was to get that information back to the Allies that were fighting Germany. And that's what he did.
And that's what he did. And how long was he there in that capacity?
He was an embedded spy for 4 years.
Wow.
During the time that he was a spy, while he was working in the job, the German intelligence agencies were investigating in his agency because they felt that there was a spy in there. And of course, he was very close to Jodl. Jodl put him in charge of the Germans who were doing the investigation. That's how close he was.
Incredible, incredible.
And so he knew what was going on all the time. He caught the spies in his house that was bombed out, going through the house looking for whatever they could find, and he shot them. Then he told Jodl, and Jodl jumped all over their bosses and said, look,
this is my guy.
I had to kill your 2 guys, which didn't make him very happy. But that's how close he came.
Bruce, it is an amazing story. And that's without most of the details. It's just amazing. It's something literally out of fiction. I think I mentioned to you that it made me think of Smileys People, the famous novel about British spies with an embedded. Smiley discovered that there was an embedded Russian, I believe, spy in the CIA equivalent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I want you to tell us, first of all, how we can purchase the book.
The book is available through bookstores as well as Amazon, Barnes & Noble online, and it's available now.
Okay. And the name again is Codename, Archangel, The Demise of the Devil. And we haven't even heard about the demise of the devil part, but it is truly an unbelievable story of what actually happened. And the coincidences of how it happened are extraordinary. You would never believe it if you went to a movie and saw this as a movie, as a fictional movie. You would say, oh, well, that's, that couldn't happen. But it did happen, right?
Yes, it did happen. He never got credit for it. Never was a hero. And he went on with his family. While he was spying, his wife was pregnant. After he left, she had the daughter, and he came home to a 4-year-old.
Oh, my.
He was embedded for 4 years.
Extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.
What you have to remember, this is historical fiction because the names are changed and some of the places and things are changed. But the story basically
is real. Happened.
Taking the role was his.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, Bruce. And I think the only thing that I didn't enjoy is the fact that we have to wind it up. So we've been speaking to Bruce Jarvis, J-A-R-V as in Victory, S. And again, he's the author of Codename Archangel, The Demise of the Devil. And you can find it easily in any bookstore or online, or request at your local bookstore that they order it. I think that many people are going to find themselves delighted to be able to read this book and not able to put it down. So our thanks, and we'll say goodbye.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate that.